Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayana Samarambham, Shankaracharya Madhyamam, Asmadacharya Paryantam, Vande Guru Paramparam. Vyasaya Vishnu Rupaya, Vyasa Rupaya Vishnave, Namo Vai Brahma Nidhaye, Vasisthaya Namo Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam, Kamsa Chanura Mardanam, Devaki Paramanandam, Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. So let us continue our contemplation on Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4. When some of you were missing, we did the very famous shlokas of the Gita, which is Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya and Paritranaya Sadhunam. And we had a little interesting discussion as well regarding that. So we'll continue with that. Then we are next going to 4.9. I will just share the screen and some of us could chant that. Rahul, you may want to chant these two important shlokas and then we can go to the next, because it's nice to hear your melodious voice in the morning. Yes.
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirбhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya atmanam srujamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge.
Excellent. So I think all of us know the import of these two shlokas, that Bhagavan comes down to help us, handhold us when Dharma is extremely at its nadir, so to speak. So the last time he appeared was at the end of Dwapara Yuga, and thanks to him we have this wonderful work called the Gita, for which we should be ever grateful to Bhagavan. And then what happens next? So we had a nice discussion about avatars and how yuge, so many avatars. We know of the 10 chronicled avatars we know, but apart from that, there have been many which are not in that 10. Like all the enlightened masters are supposed to be avatars. Like Shankara is the avatar of Shiva, and Hanuman is also the avatar of Shiva, and so many. So we don't. And Padmaja gave us a very nice account of the 5 kind of avatars which come. 5, no, Padmaja? 5 or... Yeah, very beautiful. Archi Avatara. Yesterday I was listening to someone telling us about Archi Avatara. See, this is in embodied avatars, what we have, Krishna, Rama and all. This Archi Avatara this is very important, listen to this. The God in the temple, in a temple like Tirupati, Tirumala, Tirupati and all, where there is Abhishekam or the Shodoshoparachara puja and special pujas are done each and every day, morning and evening, according to Agama Shastras. There the God is actually there. In any temple, Devi temple, Ganesha temple, Subramanya temple, Tirumala, Tirupati temple, Krishna temple, wherever there is a proper understanding of the rituals and the puja is done in the proper manner, God is actually there present in the idol. That is called Archa Avatara. And I mean, after listening to this, I don't want to take it for granted when I go to a temple. I will go there as if God is really there as an avatar in that idol over there. So all these Agama Shastras of the Prana Pratisthapana and all, they have a lot of meaning. So it's nice to know it and then do the puja or go to a temple. So Archi Avatara, where the God is actually there. That means in so many temples across India and the world, he's actually there in front of us. So when we approach God, we better have this in mind. And one more thing our Prabhuji, our Guruji said the other day was, we know that we casually say that God is inside me, God is inside me. But when I remember and actually live as if God is within me, how careful I should be. When a guest comes into the house, suddenly I'm all, my behavior is all very proper and prim and proper. I smile. I'm very hospitable. I offer them things to eat, and my speech is very pleasant. When God is inside me all the time, how should I behave? As if there's a guest all the time in my house. I don't do that. When I'm alone or when I'm with, that's hardly any. How many times in a day am I so pleasant and so well behaved? Or my thoughts, are absolutely in line with the Dharma or whatever. So to remember that God is within me and I am also an avatar, so to speak. Sahasra Shirisha Purushaha Sahasrakshaha Sahasrapat. That is what the Purusha Sukta says. God or Ishvara or Bhagavan, as we call him, the Saguna Brahman, has got 1,000 heads. Sahasra Shirsha. 1,000 is a metaphorical, is a nominal number. He means 8 billion heads as far as the humans are concerned. And yet there are 84 lakh yonis, other species of little things from amoeba to elephants or whatever, blue whale, right? And God is in each and every one of them. Sahasraksha, he's got 1,000 eyes. He's looking, he's enjoying or experiencing world with 1,000 eyes, and Sahasrapat, and so many limbs. In which case, I am also very much an avatar of God, a rather watered down avatar because of the 3 gunas that are contaminating my mind. But otherwise, now that we are in this lofty area of, exalted area of satsang, we should be able to behave in the manner that God is actually in me and I am a representation of God. I mean, it has to make an impact on my life. Otherwise, it's useless, according to me, right? What do you have to say, people, for this? Then we'll go to the next shloka. Okay. This is actually not in the selected verses, but this is such a beautiful shloka that we just let us go through it. So following this avatara paritrana sadhunam, the Bhagavan says, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna. So let us chant and then we'll go through this shloka. You can start.
Dharma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Yes. Next.
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna.
Very good. Rahul?
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Suma?
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Deepa?
कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति माम् एति सोऽर्जुना.
Very good. Chandra? Done?
Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjuna.
Kamla?
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन
Padmaja.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः व्यक्तत्वदेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन
Tyaktva deham punarjanma.
व्यक्त्वा sorry
Tyaktva. Tyaktva.
व्यक्त्वा
Yeah.
व्यक्त्वदेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Very good. Shaila. Sneha raised a hand. Okay, Sneha, carry on.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तच्चतः what is it?
Tattvataha.
तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Okay, who is next? Somebody else raised a hand. I'm not able to see.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यमेवैयो वेत्ति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Good. Indra, Shweta, Anu. Go. Yes.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Very good. Shweta.
जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वा देहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन.
Yes. Anu. All right. So this shloka says, Janma karma cha me divyam. My janma, my birth, and my karma, my actions are divine in nature. And evam yo veti tatvatah. The ones who understand this in essence, what happens to them? Tyaktva deham punarjanma. Tyaktva deham. Once they discard their body, punarjanma naiti. They don't have punarjanma. So when the Lord is here in front of us, and if we understand His divine nature, His activities and His nature, then there is no punarjanma. That's what the Lord is saying. Isn't this beautiful? So who wants to share? Padmaja, you have something for us regarding this? Janma karma cha me divyam. It's impossible to understand the activities of the Lord with our limited mind, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it says that our mind gets cleansed by engaging it in devotional remembrance of God.
Mm.
So if we wish to engage in devotion towards Lord Krishna, we must learn to harbor divine sentiments towards his leelas. And to develop such divine feelings, we must understand the difference between the God's action and ours.
Mm.
Materially bound souls' actions are motivated by self-interest and the desire for personal fulfillment. Nothing wrong in it, but
Yeah.
that's how it works. God's actions have no personal motive because he is perfectly saturated by the infinite bliss of his own personality.
Mm.
He doesn't need to achieve further personal bliss by performing actions. Therefore, whatever he does is for the welfare of the materially conditioned souls. And such divine actions that God performs are termed as leelas. So whatever we call it as leelas are all his divine actions that he is doing. And while the actions that we perform, the material conditioned soul performs, is called as work.
Karma.
So karma. So we need to understand the divine birth, nature of birth. If you see Sri Krishna, he manifested upon birth before Vasudeva and Devaki. He was in his four-armed Vishnu form. This full-sized form could definitely not have resided in Devaki's womb. However, to create in her the feeling that he was there, by his Yoga Maya power, he simply kept expanding Devaki's womb. And finally, he manifested from the outside, revealing that he had never been inside her.
Yeah.
So these are the leelas that he had done it.
Yes.
So if we can develop faith in the divinity of his birth and his pastimes, leelas, then we will be able to easily engage in the devotion to his personal form
Yes.
and attain the supreme destination.
Very nice. Yes. So the leelas of God are specifically for our purpose in Kali Yuga. It is said that in the previous yugas like Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, and the other yugas, attaining to God was a big deal. You know, it was very, very, very difficult. Lot of years and years of tapasya. That's why we hear of all these sages and demons and rakshasas alike engaging in tapas for years together to get a glimpse of God. But then now, Kalaya Tasmai Namaha. So in Kali Yuga, that's not going to happen. God also has realized. So he said, I'm going to be at the end of Dwapara Yuga. I believe Krishna told or promised whoever, Parikshit or someone, that I'm going to be among you as Nama and Rupa. You know, my name alone is enough. My Nama is a Taraka mantra. It will take you across. And my Rupa, what we just spoke about as the beautiful form of Krishna everywhere in front of us in temples and all that, that is enough. You concentrate on that and I will take you across. So, Nama, how do we take the Nama of God? By japa and by singing his leelas. The Bhagavata is full of his leelas, the Mahabharata is full of his leelas. So that's why that's how we remember the Nama and Rupa of Krishna. So like Padmaja just conveyed, we can, yo vai mam upashitaha, the ones, janma kanmacha me divyam. Yeah, it's so difficult to fathom the, behavior of the Lord. So many instances in the Bharata, we said it is quite contrary to what he says in the beginning. He says something at one point of time and does something else at another point. For example, when Balarama, you remember at the beginning of the Kurukshetra, Balarama doesn't want to take any sides. And actually he is a Kaurava Pakshi. Krishna is Pandava Pakshi and this guy is Kaurava Pakshi. But Krishna takes a promise from him or something that Krishna is very afraid that Balarama is going to go to the side of Kauravas and it's going to be a terrible scenario if that happens. So what does he do? Something happens, Nirmala will be able to tell us better, and Balarama is forced to go on a Tirtha Yatra. He kills a cow. So for a prayashchitta for that dosha, Balarama is forced to go on a pilgrimage, so that he is not in the Kurukshetra at any point of time. But before leaving, Balarama takes a promise from Krishna that he is not going to wield any weapon. He is going to be just a Sarathi for Arjuna, but he is not going to take a weapon, a bow and an arrow or the Sudarshana or whatever it is. He will not engage in war. That's a promise Krishna makes to Balarama, if you all remember. And then what happened during the course of the Kurukshetra? This Bhishma is getting uncontrollable. At one point of time, and on the 10th day itself, it looks as if the war is going to be over, because Bhishma was, amazing. He was the greatest warrior there was. And so Krishna tells Arjuna, you kill him. And of course, Arjuna, despite all these 18 slokas of Bhagavad Gita, he still, moha is there. He said, no, I don't want to kill my guru and all that. And then Krishna himself says, if you don't do it, I'm going to take up the weapons and I'm going to kill this man. Otherwise, the Pandavas are going to lose. Dharma is going to lose, not Pandavas. Dharma is going to lose because that man, however great a warrior he may be, he's on the other side. He's on the side of Adharma. I'm not going to spare him. Either you kill him or I'm going to take my Sudarshana Chakra. Then he was not averse to breaking his promise given to Balarama. That is what I'm, that's the whole point here. And so then Arjuna falls on his knees and says, please don't do that, Krishna. And I will go down in history as the man who forced you to break your promise. Let me not do that. And then later Arjuna does as he is told. So that's the Divyam. That means, you know what, these promises that we make are also conditional. It is stupid to make an unconditional promise to anyone, because at the point of making the promise, there are some conditions and we say something. But the time is so dynamic, circumstances are so dynamic, they change over a period of time, and that promise you made may no longer be relevant. That means live in the present moment. Making promises and all that, it's very much binds us down to this time and space and causation business, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, anybody else want to share something about this? Any story, any comment, please?
I think Krishna on purpose said that to Arjuna.
Said that
I think he knew that he will, this is what is going to happen. Arjuna will finally yield.
Yeah. Yes, that is true. But Krishna will not say anything casually, no? He would have done it also. He has done, don't you think that's a possibility? If Arjuna would not have taken up arms, he would have done something, isn't it? He would have definitely, yeah.
But I think that was his last bit effort.
Last
yeah, to convince Arjuna.
Yes, that is true. That might be true. We don't know. Janma karmacha me divyam. We don't know what was his intention. No? Yeah. Nirmala, any story regarding this? Yeah. So what's in it for us? God makes it very clear in this shloka. The one who understands my janma and karma are divyam. What happens to them? They are released from the cycle of birth and death. Just imagine, when God is in our, we are in the presence of God or of an avatara, we can go on questioning. For example, the one that comes to mind is Jesus Christ. How much he was persecuted, the poor fellow, and how many avatars, like the saints, how many of them have been persecuted in front of us. We have heard of the accounts of the lives of great saints who were stoned. Buddha was also, not Buddha. So many, I'm not able to recall. Jesus was crucified. Right. So people didn't understand his janma and karma and his divyata when he was in front of them. They lost a great opportunity. So that is why Bhagavan is saying in the Gita, when the enlightened master is among you, you better not question his ways and methods, because you will never know where he is coming from. Right? Okay.
Purnimaji, we do not know who is God in front of us. So we need to treat everybody as God. So I feel that we are going through this aparoksha anubhuti in our AVSC session. So I just want to tell some methods. There are various steps wherein we can attain that Jivan Mukta state, right? That's what Bhagavan is saying here. Correct. So the first step is that we need to give up what I have and mamakara and what I possess, ahankara. And if we give up something, we need to hold on to something, right? So we need to hold on to Guru, who is the form of Ishvara.
Correct.
And then just by seeing Guru and doing various services to him does not take us to elevate us. So we need to understand his teachings and follow it. Right. So we need to understand the scriptures, all those things. That is Shravana. And then Manana, we need to clear all the doubts. That is Manana. And we need to hold on to Nididhyasa. We need to continuously do it, because that will create clear our subconscious mind that I am not this body, mind or intellect. I am the pure consciousness. That's why we are feeding that subconscious mind in that way. When we are completely into that Nididhyasana, then we need to, what it says is that we need to leave the Guru also, because you understand that you and Guru are the same.
Same.
So at that time, when you do this sadhana in that one thing that I am this pure consciousness, we are that Jivan Mukta state, Sthiti Prajna state. The duality is gone. So when I drop that body at that stage, then I will become one with the Brahman.
Yes, perfectly said, Kamala. Thank you so much. Yes, that is when the aparoksha anubhuti really makes sense. Direct experience, the direct living the truth that I am God. Perfect. Very correct. Yes. So that is the Jivan Mukta. That is how, while alive, you can attain to God, like Krishna says. No need to wait for the body to drop by itself. Through Jnana, I can do it. That's what you're saying, right? Yeah.
Enlightened ones are the people who are Jivan Mukta, right?
Yes, that's right. Correct. The ones who have realized their true nature, and they are in their embodied form only for the sake of guiding disciples. Jagat Hitaya. Otherwise, if all the enlightened ones had left their bodies and gone, we wouldn't have had these people to guide us. So that is why they are among us, the masters. Yeah. Shall we go to the next sloka or anything else you need to add to this? Thank you, Kamala. That was really nice. Beautiful. And then we go to the next sloka. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Are you able to see this? Okay. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamusha upashritaha bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha.
वीतरागभय क्रोधः मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
Next, anyone?
वीतरागभय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा
Tamadbhavamagataha. Okay.
Yes.
Anyone? Yeah.
क्रोध मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवः ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
Very good.
Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mamupashritaah bahavo jnana tapasa putamad-bhavamagataah.
Okay.
वीतरागभयक्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहनो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
वीतराग भय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञान तपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
वीतरागभय क्रोधा मन्मया मामुपाश्रितः बहुवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावमागताः.
वीतरागभयक्रोधा मन्मया मानुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूतमद्भावमागताः.
वीतरागभयक्रोधा मन्मया मम उपाश्रितः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूता मद्भावम् आगतः.
Manmaya mam upashritaha. Mam, me, upashritaha.
मन्मयां माम् उपाश्रितः.
Yes, fine.
मन्मया माम् उपाश्रितः Bahavo gnana tapasa puta mad bhavam agataha.
Agataha. Okay, fine. Note.
Agataha.
Yeah.
It's funny, we should see in Sanskrit, we'll do better. I think here you just start reading in English.
You're not able to see the Sanskrit shloka on
No,
my
it's okay. I just adjusted. No
fine,
problem.
fine.
I was just following on in English first. So
All right, fine. Next.
वीतरागभयक्रोधः
Krodha.
मन्मया क्रोधाः मन्मया मामुपाश्रिताः बहवो ज्ञानतपसा पूताः मत्
Utamadbhavamagataha.
पूताः मद्भावमागताः.
Yes. Padmaja, done? Okay.
No, I'll do it. Vitaraga bhaya krodha manmaya mam upashritaha bahavu jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha.
Okay. Vinaya, you're able to tell, or shall we carry on? Vinaya is here. Okay. Being free from attachment, fear, and anger. Vita raga bhaya krodha. Then manmaya. What a beautiful word. All the commentators go gaga about this word manmaya. Like, fully absorbed in me. Manmaya. From top to bottom, like how Hanuman smears kesar all over his body. No, you know that little beautiful story, no? When Sita was putting sindoor, Hanuman asked her, "Why have you put sindoor on your forehead?" And she said, "That is that is Rama's sanketa on me." So Hanuman puts kesar all over his body, sindoor all over his body. Why only here? Like that. That is manmaya. From Nakha Shikagrat, from top to bottom, I am full of the feeling of God, becoming fully absorbed in me. Those who upashritaha, who take refuge in me like that, bahavo jnana tapasa putaha. Bahavo, not just this enlightenment is not just for a selected few. It is for bahavo. So many people have been liberated with this kind of fully absorption in me. Many people in the past have become putaha, they have been purified. And then madbhavam agataha, they have attained to my divine love. Madbhavam agataha, he says, they have attained my divine love. So this is the 4.10 shloka of the Gita, this is the conclusion of why are we looking at this avatara? Why are we studying it? What is the point of it all? Krishna makes it very clear in this particular shloka. Yes. Explanation.
I'd like to.
Heli Chandra, Heli. Yes, then
Oh,
Rahul.
sure.
Chandra, Rahul, then Padmaja. Yes, please.
In this discourse, the Lord describes the merits of jnana in different ways, such as tapas, yajna, agni, nauka, and khadga. Here,
wait. You're one nimsha. Sariyag nidana kelipa.
Okay. Okay. In this discourse, the Lord describes the merits of jnana in different ways, such as tapas, yajna, agni, nauka, and khadga. Here, jnana is described as tapas, a penance of wonderful merit, because it cleanses all accumulated sins of previous births and all the impurities of inherited instincts, impulses, and tendencies. Such men who are purified by this penance are mentioned as purified. What are the marks of this jnana tapasa? Freedom from desire, fear, and hatred, intense devotion, and absorption in the Lord, seeking ultimate refuge in Him. These are the aspects of jnana tapas. What is its effect? Attaining the Lord, self-realization through purity is the reward. Free from desire, fear, and hatred. Attachment to worldly objects, fear, and hatred from the triple-headed monster who should be killed and destroyed. Is it an easy task? How to destroy them? The Lord points the way. He says, think of me. Be absorbed in me. Take refuge in me. That is the way to conquer the enemy. As man acquires greater and greater firmness in jnana, these obstacles are gradually cleared from the mind. And that very moment, when the mind is destroyed, the supreme self is realized. When the mind ceases to exist, self is realized. And when self is realized, mind ceases to exist. So one should practice the two aspects of jnana simultaneously.
Thank you, Chandra. So the mind should stop and then God should be realized. And when God is realized, mind should be stopped. This sounds like a catch-22 situation to me. No? What, Chandra? So the mind should cease andre ಏನ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಹೇಳಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Yeah, purified with how to purify the mind? Through seva.
Meditating by tapas.
Tapas andre ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯುಗದಲ್ಲಿ we cannot do any tapas. We can only engage in seva.
Japa, seva.
Yeah, this jnana tapas and then karma tapas. Right. That is how the mind will get purified. All right. Yes, Rahul ji, what do you want to tell us?
Purnimaji, there was a neuroscientific approach I wanted to
Yes,
share.
please. Yeah.
Maybe I thought I listened to Padmaja ji and then.
Fine. All right. Let's do that. Padmaja.
Okay. So here, Lord Krishna said in the last 4.9 that those who truly know the divine nature of his birth and the pastimes, they attain him. So in this shloka, he now confirms that human beings in all ages became God realized only by this means. Sri Aurobindo said that you must keep the temple of the heart clean if you wish to install therein the living presence. So if you want the living presence, keep your heart clean. So to realize God, purify the mind through devotion. Mind gets purified by giving up attachment, fear, and anger, and absorbing the mind in God. Now, attachment is the cause of both fear and anger. Now, once we have the attachment, we fear, losing it. There's a fear of. And attachment, through the attachment only, when we don't get that particular thing, or, there's an obstruction in attaining that, we get an anger. So attachment is the root cause of both fear and anger.
Yeah.
So whenever mind is attached to a material object or a material person, our mind becomes affected by the three modes, tamas, rajas, or sattva.
Yeah.
Instead, when we absorb the same mind in God, who is beyond the three modes of material nature, and such devotion purifies the mind.
Yeah.
So the recipe to cleanse the mind from the defects of lust, anger, greed, envy, and illusion is to detach it from the world and attach it to the Supreme Lord. So the bottom line is, without engaging in devotion to the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, the mind will not be cleansed.
Correct. Thank you, dear. Yes, Rahul.
So I was studying neuroscience. I've been studying neuroscience. So there are these 5 fundamental emotions. Most of you might be aware. Emotional intelligence subject to, love, joy, sorrow, anger, and fear. So in that order, if we take it as love, joy, sorrow, anger, fear.
Yeah.
They are the 5 fundamental emotions, and anything else are manifestations of these feelings.
Correct.
If I'm sitting on this chair and I start getting frustrated or irritated, that can go into anger.
Correct.
I'm expecting somebody to come, but or call illa, message illa, I can get sad, or an extension of that can make me angry also. I also start getting scared that So love and joy, the first 2 emotions, they predominantly cause the secretion of dopamine in the brain.
Right.
Anger, sorrow, fear, more, if you consider them to be the negative emotions, they, of course, secrete some other chemicals, cortisol, norepinephrine, adrenaline, etc. So they,
yeah.
So these 3 negative secretions in the brain is what causes us to have these mental upsets. And just to give an example, if we are walking in a forest, in a dark forest, particularly, and there's absolutely no light, and we hear a tiger somewhere, instantly there is adrenaline that's created in the body, fight or flight response yet.
Fight or flight.
Now we start running and we spend that adrenaline. It either comes out in the form of sweat or perspiration, or it comes out.
Yeah.
But when I'm sitting in the chair in my office and worrying, oh my God, my boss is so furious. I mean, he's not. Anta. I know the brain is secreting adrenaline, but the thing is, I'm not running or I'm not spending it.
Yeah.
So, but that secreted chemical has to come out somewhere. And that will come out in the form of headaches or some skin disease or irritable bowel syndrome or acidity, or it will come out.
Correct.
So all the negative secretions in a way causes hell, and the positive secretion, which is dopamine, causes heaven. So simple, I just realized hell and heaven is just as simple as dopamine and adrenaline secretions in the body. So
very nice.
Now idana tagondaga, if I'm able to stop or control these three negative emotions, I'm able to focus more on Vita Raga, when it focus more on God, or keep it clear to go inside. That way,
very good practical insight you have given. So yeah, so what should I do? Okay, fine. How can I become pure or whatever? This is how. Try to stop the secretion of adrenaline, which happens in a dream state also, right? We start sweating, we start shivering, we go, I feel suffocated, but I can't cry out. Oh my God, all of us have experienced that, in dreams. So yeah, that is why all the subconscious impressions are coming to the fore. That's what the doctors tell us, and the enlightened beings tell us, that all the all the vasanas that are in that, when we strengthen those vasanas, they go more and more deep and they cause so much more problem. So the solution is just being aware of the vasana when it rises. It's like shining a torch. The moment you shine a torch, darkness is gone. It's as simple as that. I believe it is said. Before, see, there's a little gap between a thought and an action. There's a small window of opportunity where you can watch the thought and stop it from getting into an action mode. That is what spirituality does for us, isn't it?
I mean, simple, Purnimaji, when we say the difference between reaction and response. Reaction is, like they said, something that happens on spontaneous. Response is a thought through. So unprocessed actions are actions, and processed actions are responses.
Absolutely.
So like you said, that gap is what
is very critical. So here processed food is very good. Processed food for thought, welcome. Might be not good for the tummy, but it's good for the, for our response. Yeah, let us process the thought before it becomes an action. Perfect. That is how one becomes putaha, one becomes purified.
Processed one ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ repeat ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಇಲ್ಲೇನೋ strain ಹೋಯ್ತು ನಂಗೆ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Processed ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ the moment I get a thought, I want to slap XYZ, my neighbor, because he or she is dumping garbage into my house. Okay. I'm very angry with the neighbor. I want to do horrible things to that person. So that's a thought. But when it comes to action, if I'm a Rakshasa, I will actually go and do it. Like some passenger who did some horrible things on an airplane in a business class. I'm sure you all read the news. How that passenger, urinated on a fellow passenger in a business class air flight. That means his thought was not processed. Alva. His instinct, he wanted to relieve himself. But he relieved himself on a co-passenger. Who does that? That means there was no gap between the thought and the action. This is an extreme example. Fortunately, this does not happen very often. But all our thoughts, if we start translating into action without processing them, life is going to be a disaster. Isn't it? That's why we have that viveka. in us, which will tell us what thoughts to go into action and what thoughts not to take into action. That is the processing, that little gap which we are talking about here. So that makes the difference between reaction and response. Response is processed thought, is what Rahul is saying. Correct, alva? ವಿವೇಕದಿಂದ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಿಧಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಆಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಅದು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರ ಲಕ್ಷಣ. ಮನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಂಗ್ ಹುಚ್ಚುಚ್ಚಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಮಿಯರ್ಲಿ ಆನಿಮಲ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಂಕ್ಟ್. ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಅ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ದನ್ ಆನಿಮಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಲೆಕ್ಕ. So we have this bhaya, nidra, ahara, maithuna. They are all reptilian, instincts anta heltare. All of us have a reptilian brain. All of us, though we are born as a human, the highest form of evolution, as far as physical evolution is concerned, the human being is the highest. And we all have the reptilian brain. That is the one who are very much in tamas, the reptilian brain will kickstart all the time. So we act from those instincts. So rajas, tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva mele barta. We leave those instincts behind. That's what it is. That is called the raising of the kundalini. We go from our basic animal nature to go into divine nature. That is the raising of the kundalini. That's what we are all doing here. Kundalini raising is not necessarily sitting in tapas and willing that energy to rise. No. Everything has to be done through jnana. All the other methods are mere, they just help, they give a helping hand. But the real correction has to happen only with jnana. Ashte ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. Okay. Vita is to lose. Vita, raga, bhaya, krodha. Aur heldanga 5. Happiness and joy irli, because that is my nature. Bhaya, krodha and raga, bhaya, krodha. Attachment and bhaya and krodha. Idin bitpudbeku anta. It's very, very, very difficult. Helodantu bhala easy. So we have got we cannot completely get rid of them. So we just have to transform them a little, is what Bhagavan says. He says, raga, drop the desire. Drop the desire for the lower and hang on to the desire of the higher. You just transform the desire anta. Aita? That is one, raga. Fear and anger, durganagalu. Adan heng tegiyodu andre manmaya bhava. You become absorbed in me, then that adrenaline rush will not be there, dopamine rush will come. Manmaya agbudbeku. So such a beautiful word. Even I am falling in love with that word, manmaya. Mam upashritaha, take refuge in me. Even for worldly things, we take refuge in God. No problem. It's better to ask God for something you want rather than ask XYZ. Go and ask, go sit in your prayer room and say, I want a better TV, I want a better house. Doesn't matter. At least you're engaging with a higher power over there. There is no problem in fulfilling your worldly desires as long as it doesn't become a bloody botheration to you. Right? So even that Mam Upashita means take refuge in God for each and everything. You tell him what you want and then do whatever actionable. You have to take action, of course, but you can tell God whatever you want. Even if it's impossible, even if it is crazy, doesn't matter. God will listen, right? Jnana tapasa. Engage always in the quest of God. Always. All the time. Have that in mind. That I am a seeker. I am a mumukshu. That is my primary identity. Whatever be your other identities for the world, for yourself, for my sake, I should always remember that I am a mumukshu. That is my identity. I am seeking God in every situation all the time, 24/7 as a mumukshu. That's how you become aputa. That's how I become purified by this tapas. This is only tapas we need to do. That's all. Whatever we discussed right now, that is the tapas. There are 3 levels of impurities in us, say the masters. What is that? Mala, vikshepa, and avarana. Okay. Mala is impurity of the mind, which we are all very familiar. We got a lot of impurities. How to remove that impurities? we have to do service. Karma yoga is the only way to take about, because karma yoga takes me away from I, me, myself, and makes me expand my vision to include society and people around me, isn't it? So karma yoga is a way to purify the mind. Then another problem we have with the mind is vikshepa, which is distraction. I cannot concentrate on anything for a long time. All of us have that problem, vikshepa, distraction. Very, very easily the mind gets distracted by hundreds of things. So how to tackle vikshepa is, the master say, meditation is a solution. Just sit quietly for some time in a day. Just go inside. Even for 1 minute, last evening we were discussing. Even for 1 minute, when you grab the time somewhere, just quietly remember, I am God, or God is within me, whatever. Enough. Okay. That is called vikshepa, can be tackled with, distraction can be tackled with being quiet, grabbing quiet moments through the day. And then avarana, that is the biggest problem human beings have. Avarana means a veiling. I don't know my real nature because of a parda, that is maya. Okay. How can this maya be removed? By jnana tapas, what we are doing now, shravana, manana, nididhyasana. Repeatedly rewriting the subconscious impression that I am the body, mind, intellect. Rewriting, rewrite. We have to rewrite that impression. That's all that needs to be done. So madbhava magataha. That's how Krishna says, you will not just have a vision of me. Like, when I remember God's form very, often, I can get a vision in front of me. I can imagine, I can visualize. Krishna is saying not just that. It's not just a visualization. I will not just come and give you darshan. You will attain to me. You will merge into me, Krishna says. By grace of God, with my own effort, all this can happen. And this is just very thrilling to even to think of this. And then, despite all this, we might have a doubt. How is it possible, Baba? Whole day, 24/7, so many things I have to do in my life. There are hundreds of things I have to tackle. How can I become manmaya? How can I, always think of God? So, our Prabhuji has given a very beautiful solution to this. Okay. He is a very practical, enlightened master, and he tackles our problem where it matters. He has given us a formula. He says, divide your day into 3 portions. Okay. 33% each. For what? 33% for your personal stuff, whatever it is. No, I have my family to take care. I have my career. I have so many things. Right now, it could be 99%. It's all my personal stuff. Reduce it to 33 or whatever. Smaller portion you devote to your personal things. The next 33%, you engage in seva, some service, some loka kalyana thing you can do without expecting results. What is seva? Without remuneration of any sort, without any expectation of praise or rewards, uncaring of what it can do for me. I should do seva. And the next 33%, you engage in jnana tapas, shravana, manana, nididhyasana. That's the formula Prabhuji has given. But depending on our preoccupations in life, we can have a different portion of it. But at least a little of my personal life I can devote to seva and jnana tapas. Is that possible? Is it doable, people?
My daughter has a question, Purnima. She is listening to you.
Oh,
she is in second PU. So she is telling, if I do this 33%, when my studies are gone, Mama, I have to put my 100% in studies. Correct. So what do you say for it, Purnima?
Yes, she's at that stage where she definitely has to put 100% into studies. There is no doubt about it. It is for, see, there are so many ashramas in life, right? Now she is still in the yuva stage. Let her not worry.
Can I please add a point?
Heli Rahul.
33% the 100% madidru saku actually. So now to be one point is Sweden. In Sweden is a country where it's a 5-hour work day, and they work 4 days a week. So it's a 4-day working week, and they work 5 hours per day. Their productivity is I think some 8 times more than Indians. The statistics there. Okay. So that is because in that 5 hours, there is no phones, there is no chit chat, there is nothing but work.
Nothing but work.
So 33% of the time, 4 hours or 5 hours, adana 100% I think things will sit in place.
You're very right, Rahul. That is for all of us. Correct. Padmaja's daughter, who is still studying, she is still in that brahmacharya stage. Alva. Brahmacharya, I mean, she's a student. Alva. So she has to see, that is what Sanatana Dharma says. There is brahmacharya, there is gruhastha, there is vanaprastha, and there is sannyasa. Most of us here, I can say, we are either in gruhastha or vanaprastha. So we can afford to devote some time to all this. Whereas in a brahmacharya stage, what does the shishya do? Completely in the gurukula, taking whatever the teacher gives us, we are absorbing. In the earlier Gurukula system, Bhagavad Gita was also a part of the study. Unfortunately, now it is not like that. So whatever she has to concentrate on, let her concentrate. But these values are definitely worth absorbing at this young age, Alva. It is very important, isn't it? What is seva? Physically, you might not have the time to go and do seva, but including everyone, in my sphere of thought, just that 1 minute rule, just praying loka samasta sukhino bhavantu and meaning it, that is also seva. Isn't it, Padmaja? So all these little things students can do, and in their own sphere, in their school, in their college, in their wherever they are, helping the other person, helping a student in joint studies, helping them understand their subject, whatever, that is also seva, without expecting result, without expecting any, favors from the other person. That is also seva. Wherever I am, I'm sure there are plenty of seva opportunities for me. And what is jnana? For jnana tapas, you don't need any time at all. Just being in that awareness that I am a superior, I am not just this limited person, I am something more than that. That awareness itself is a big thing. That itself is enough. I am just not limited. What is your daughter's name?
She is Raina. I'll just give.
Raina. Raina. Hi, Raina. What are you studying? Which class?
I'm studying in 12th right now.
First PUC, is it?
Second PUC.
Second PUC. So Raina is not just Raina. She's she's Raina plus all the other friends, she's around her. The same consciousness, the same spirit is in all of us, right, Raina? So you interact with the world with that knowledge. That is jnana tapas. For that, you don't have to set aside 33% of your day for that. Just being aware that all of us are equal. And one more thing here, let us not make a mistake. When I say all of us are equal, that is only in the level of jnana. I know everyone is equal to me, like a tiger is equal to me in terms of the spirit which, animates the tiger, and the spirit that animates me. It is the same. I am the same spirit, but I don't treat them equally. When a tiger comes, I run away. When a snake is there, I run away. The treatment I give to people around me will differ as is required. Okay, but in my knowledge, the basis is we are all the same. We are all of the same stuff. Okay, that is jnana tapas. That awareness is jnana tapas. And whatever I can do as a student to children around me, with my environment, my teacher, my elders at home, now I can see you are doing chapatis. That's also seva only. You're helping your mom. No. So that's enough. That is how we have to adjust your whole day with all these little things. Thank you so much.
She is arranging for puja. Saturday we do puja. So she is
Ate.
doing all that puja, cleaning all the,
Ate, that is seva. That is nothing but seva only. As long you say, Mom, I cleaned the puja room. Now you take me to a movie. No. Just do it unconditionally. That's all.
After this, she'll be going to the temple and then come back and study.
See,
That's the
he is
plan.
doing all that. You don't have to worry, my dear Raina. You're already doing everything that is necessary. All right.
Yes, Purnima, thank you.
Thank you. I didn't hear from so many people today. Everyone is on mute. Kamala done, Sneha done, Pragati done, Chandra done. Okay. Then others, Rahul done. Everything. At least say hello. Nirmala, you didn't open your mouth only today. We are closing the class. So just say tata, bye-bye, and we will close, all of us. Yes, Anu? No, that is namaskara, I think. Okay. ಏನಪ್ಪ ಶ್ವೇತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳಿ. I will stop recording now. Done. The class is over for the day.